learning about operations on functions. So what we can do with functions is we can add them, subtract them, multiply them, and divide them. And then we also have what's called composite functions or composition functions. So the notation is very important because remember that math people are lazy. So if you see something like f plus g of x, what that means is f of x plus g of x. It's just that we're lazy, and since both of these are playing with x's, it's just easier to say add them together. This is not a multiplication problem. Okay, the next thing we can do is a subtraction. So we'll have f of x and then subtract g of x. We can have multiplication. So f times g of x. So just be very, very clear. This is not f plus g times x. This is not f minus g times x. This is function notation. So this is the way we write it, but this is what we mean. This is the way we write it, but this is what we mean. This is the way we write it, and this is what we mean. So we would multiply both together. And then finally, we would have f over g of x, which literally means f of x over g of x. So those are just basic operations on functions. Well, then what we have is composition functions. So composition functions is going to be pretty important as when you get into calculus, because it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. But what we have is I can write this one of two ways. Either I can say the composition of f and g at x, or I can say the composition of f and g at x. So notice that g of x is nested inside of f, and these mean the same thing. It just honestly depends on the publisher or your instructor as far as which way you're going to use it. This does not say FOG. That's like a degree symbol. Like if you were talking about your body temperature being 98.6 degrees, but it's down low, it's not up in an exponent. Okay, so this is called the composition of f and g at x, or the composition of f and g of x. Okay, so what we're going to do with these ones is we're going to nest them. We will nest them. So an example, actually let me see if I can switch this. Hang on. Okay, so I do not know how to flip it to where I can do my screen again. So I'm going to just do a second video and we're just going to start with examples. Okay, but I gave you notes in Canvas about how to do this, and it's called Operations on Functions. So it gives you a more in-depth overview, but this is what we're basically doing.